I'm ranking all the best new cards within Ascended Heroes here because this set is pretty big. There's a lot of cards in the set, and there is a lot of EX Pokemon and a lot of Mega Evolution Pokemon to discuss and rank in the video. I think the set does have a fairly decent impact on the metagame, especially with some of the new cards coming out, and even over time with rotation. I think some of these new cards will age quite nicely, and some new decks will get big buffs with the set, which I'm excited to rank these cards, seeing where they place on the tier list as the best of the best. If y'all are new here to the second channel, why not subscribe down below? We're on the road to 27,000 subs. I'll leave a link to the tier list down below too, and to look at all the cards so we know what they do, I have Pokemon proxies pulled up here so we can look at what the cards actually do. I got S, A, B, C, D tier for the tiers. Let's get into it. Starting off with Snorunt. Now, that's kind of crazy. There's not really any good grass or fire-type Pokemon here in the first half of things, but the water Pokemon do have some decent ones, starting with, like I said, the Snorunt here with Chili. The only reason why it's on the tier list is because it has 70 HP. We do not have a 70 HP Snorunt in the format, and with looking at how rotation is right now with the Frostlass variants doing really good in the new format, I think Snorunt is genuinely S tier. It is one of the best cards in the set. It's kind of crazy that a random 70 HP Pokemon that's literally only good because it has 10 more HP than the regular Snorunts that we have already is S tier. Well, that just proves that this card is just that good. And also with Frostlass looking like a very strong engine in the new format from what we've seen in early rotation results. If you want to actually see that, I'd react to those results on my last video I posted yesterday. But Snorunt definitely belongs in S tier in my opinion. It is one of the best cards in the set. Another card that I think is really good, though, is the Mega Frostlass. This card has the attack Rebellion that does 50 damage for each card in your opponent's hand. That's a very good attack. In a meta where potentially your opponent's going to have a big hand against, like, Dragapult or Goldengo, or honestly, even in rotation when Iono rotates and the hand disruption becomes a little less good, Frostlass becomes a lot stronger. It's also just a really good one-of to play in your Frostlass decks. I think this card is honestly S tier. It's one of the best megas in the set by far. It's a very strong card, and it's a great splashable card to have within the Frostlass Munkidori deck. So I like both Snorunt and Frostlass in the S tier. I think Mega Frostlass has a lot of potential, like I said, and is a really good card just to play in those type of decks. Another water Pokemon we got here is the new Ends Vanillux. Now, this card does have Layered Snow, which places damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon until the damage is doubled, which is kind of cool. We've seen this attack before on cards like the Celebrations Lunala, and they make for pretty fun spread decks. I would probably place Vanillux somewhere in the B tier. I think that this card is fine. Ironically, being an Ends Pokemon, it's not even to see play in an Ends archetype. I think that the Vanillish is better with Zoroark, not the Vanillux. The Vanillux doesn't really have much synergy in a Zoroark deck, but in a spread deck, like a Frostlass deck, this card actually could be pretty good. So I'll place it in B tier just for being a fun little spread rogue card. And also, you know, with the loss of stuff like Turo and Penny, these spread decks can get away with putting a lot of damage on the board, in my opinion. We got another new Mega Evolution here. We got the Mega Electros EX. Now, this card has 2 attacks, both of which are decent. You got Split Bomb doing 60 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, and then Disaster Shock does 190 damage, discard 2 lightning from it to then paralyze your opponent's active Pokemon. The ability to paralyze your opponent's active is very, very powerful. This card does get the job done. Keep in mind, being a lightning type is good. You have good synergy with finding your Tynamos with Miraidon. You have Electric Generator to charge this up. And the big thing about playing Electros is you can play it with Dynamotor Electric, which is really good. Now, I don't know if you can really build a deck around this card. You probably can. Honestly, both attacks are decent. But what I really like about it is that it splashes in electric decks. I think this card is A tier. I think. This is a weird one. I don't know if it's A tier, but I think it's good enough. Like, if electric types ever become relevant, once again in the meta, like, playing an Electros in your Dynamotor electric deck makes sense. Keep in mind, I'm also looking at this tier list in the scope and lens of the rotation, because the set does come out. There are some decent cards that will impact what archetypes are in our current Scarlet and Violet on meta, but when we do get to Temporal Forces on, I think some of these cards will be looked at differently. And lightning types, I think, are going to be relevant in this next format because of how popular Mega Starmie is in Japan right now. I think Mega Electros belongs in A tier. It's like the Frostlass theory, where it's like you may as well play it in your deck if you're already playing the Frostlass spread. might as well play a one of Mega Froslass. In this variant, it's like, well, if you're going to be playing Dynamo or Electric in your deck, you might as well play a one of Electros. Like, the ability to immediately paralyze your opponent is not bad, and even its first attack isn't bad either to take knockout. So I think this is definitely A tier for sure. One of the more playable Mega Evolutions, in my opinion. Next up, going to the second Pokemon, we do have the new Hops Trevenant here with the attack Horror Revenge. During your opponent's last turn, if any of your Hops Pokemon got knocked out last turn, you get to 100 more damage. Now, being a Hops Pokemon means you have a lot of damage modifications. You have Snorlax, Choice Band, Postwick to do 90 more damage. You can hit over 200 damage with Hops Trevenant. It's a Psychic type, which is actually really good against stuff like Lucario. Play a Clef on your deck, or Clefairy. You can knock out Dragapult in one hit. It's actually not a bad attacker. Honestly, like, I think I would still maybe place it in B tier. But I think it's good, and I think the Psychic typing is relevant. I mean, with the loss of Gardevoir, Psychic does kind of have to be looked at a bit differently now. Trevenant, I think, is decent. Makes for a decent one-prize attacker. It might make the Hops deck a lot more playable, which is pretty exciting. Like, the Hops deck isn't really that good. Like, it's fine, but it's never going to be, like, super competitive. But maybe Trevenant, with rotation, gives the deck enough juice to keep up with stuff like Lucario and Dragapult, just because it's a Psychic type. Like, kind of, part of me wants to put it in A tier, because it actually is a pretty good card in, like, theory, but I think I'm going to leave it in B tier for now, because the Hops deck never really has been anything super insane yet. Then we got the new Spectrier here. This card has the attack Phantom Blast, discard all energy from it, place 12 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. This card is really only good for a few months, because it's really good in Gardevoir. That's basically why this card is good. Just because it's a great one of in Gardevoir. It knocks out opposing Munkidorys. You can use it with your own Munkidori to place even more damage on a Pokemon. This card is actually good in Guardy. And it's only going to be around for a couple of months. But I think I'd still place it in A tier just for being a decent partner in Gardevoir. Outside of that, like, if Gardevoir was rotating when the set came out, this card would probably be like C tier. Because I don't think you'd even play it post Gardevoir. But Gardevoir's still in the format. We still have a couple of major tournaments with Guardy being legal, having access to this card. I think we should place it in A tier for now, in my humble opinion. Next up is fighting Pokemon. We got the Mega Hawlucha EX. Now, this is a weird Mega. It's got the ability Strong Body. When it gets knocked out, you can flip a coin of heads. It's not knocked out. Its remaining HP becomes 10 instead. This is a very annoying ability that, you know, if you flip a bunch of heads over and over again, this thing never gets KO'd. I mean, there are ways to manipulate it, like, you can use stuff like Phantom Dive, Munkidori's Adrenabrain, are all ways to kill this Pokemon after the ability is activated on your next turn, which is why I'm not sold on it. Somersault Dive, though, is a strong attack. It does, 260 damage, so you hit pretty hard. You have access to Premium Power Pro for more damage. You can play with Mega Lucario or something, or the new Barbaracle when rotation comes to power it up. It's a weird Mega. I think I'll place this card in the B tier. The ability is technically good, yes, but the problem is there is a lot of ways to get around the ability. Also, if, like, Froslass decks become popular in the new format, which currently it's looking like that's the case, this card gets even worse. So I think this is B tier. Like, honestly, debatably, it's C tier. Like, it is a pretty weak card overall, but I think it's strong enough where I can place it in B tier. Maybe lower B tier. It's one of the weaker Megas for sure, but, you know, it's strong, and that does carry it. If its attack was mid, like, I would probably place it in, like, C or D. It feels like there's too many ways to beat this Pokemon's ability, which is the problem. Who knows, maybe when Froslass and Monkey rotate, it becomes a little better. Next up, we got the new Rocket's Honchkrow. Does 60 damage, discard any number of supporters with Team Rocket in their name from your hand. You compare this with the Porygon Z that does more damage for each Rocket supporter in the discard pile, and the Honchkrow Porygon deck's actually been doing good in Japan in the rotation. This is maybe A tier. It's one of the better one-prizers in the format. It actually becomes a pretty decent one-prizer deck. And, I mean, we've been waiting for the Team Rocket deck to actually be good, right? So I think I would place Honchkrow in A tier for being a pretty solid card. Pretty good one-prizer deck. And you know what? If it makes Team Rocket decks playable, I'm all for it. I like it. I'm going to place the Honchkrow in the A tier. Then we got Mega Scrafty EX. This card is cool. It's got that ability Counter Cowl. If it gets attacked in the active spot, place 5 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. And then you got the attack Outlaw leg that is 160. Choose a random card from your opponent's hand, discarded, and the top card of their deck gets discarded. So it's like the Scovillain EX we have. It's a dark type Pokemon. It's not bad against Guardy. You can play it with stuff like Punk Helmet to do more damage with the ability. And then you also have Toxicity as a way to fuel this card. I think it's actually fairly playable. Like, I kind of like putting Scrafty in the A tier for being like a pretty semi-playable dark Pokemon. It is sort of a worse Mega Absol, which is like the issue I have with it. Like, Absol's by far just a better card than this thing, but it's not bad either. It's got some good synergies. It does have some cool combos, whatnot. You know what I mean? Like Punk Helmet, even Deluxe Bomb. The Ace Spec card isn't bad with this card either. I think it's decent. I like Mega Scrafty in the A tier for being one of the better megas in my opinion. Has this new Petron here with the last chain ability. If it gets knocked out by damage from attack, you can search check for any one card and put in your hand. Pretty strong ability. And then you got the attack Mochi Rush, 20 damage. Next turn does 50 more damage. So it's gonna be a really good early game attacker. And when it gets knocked out, getting any card out of your deck is pretty valuable because you're able to kind of change something. If you're looking for a specific piece, like a rare candy or just any card, like your Ace Spec or whatnot, you can use Petron to get it. It just makes your turn play out even more easily if you're trying to make like a certain combo work, which I like about it. So I'm going to place Petron in B tier. I think it's one of the better one-prizers in the new set, and it might have a home in my opinion. It's definitely not bad. It's an underrated card. It's one of the more underrated cards in the set in my opinion. There's a new King Gambit here. This card is literally like Charizard EX. It's not the same, but it's got that same effect where Supreme Overload, attacks used by his Pokemon do 30 more damage for each prize your opponent has taken. So it's like Burning Darkness. Even the attack Double Edge Slash for 2 metals does 180 damage is literally like Charizard because it does 180 and then you got the ability. So it's basically Burning Darkness on a card. And you know what? Burning Darkness is pretty dang good. King Gambit's not as good as Charizard, but it's not bad. As a one-prizer deck, it gets stronger in the late game. I'll place it in B tier, just because it does get a lot stronger as the game progresses, which is why I like King Gambit in B tier for now. Moving into the Dragon types, we got a few of them, starting with Mega Dragonite EX. Now, this card is really powerful, but is held back by a certain weakness, like a literal weakness. Now, 307 HP Dragon Pokemon with that ability, Sky Transport, you can switch it with your bench Pokemon, or you can switch your active with one of your bench Pokemon. And then you got Reuno Glide, which does 330 damage, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. The way you're going to play this card is with Electric, where you can use a Dynamotor to charge it up. You can use the ability to switch it on the bench to then charge it up with Electric and then put it back in the active spot. And then swing for 330 every single turn. It's a very strong attacker. My issue with Dragonite, though, it's weak to Clefairy. It's kind of caught in the crossfire of Dragapult. It's a 3-prizer, which kind of sucks too, but it does a lot of damage, and doing a lot of damage is pretty good. So I don't know if I want to put it in A or B, in S tier. Like, it probably belongs in one of these two tiers. Like, when Dragonite comes out, I don't think it's going to be that playable. Like, it's fine. It's a decent deck, but it's just another deck that wants to dodge Gardevoir. It's going to be like Mega Lucario. But with rotation, maybe there's a world where this card actually ends up being good. So I think for now, I'll place Dragonite in A tier, maybe even the top of A tier, because it's not going to be competitive right off the gate, which is a big problem. And even in the rotation format, I think it's still good, but we'll have to see. So I'm a little skeptical on Dragonite. It's got a lot going for it. It's got good synergy with Electric and stuff, but I'm not sold on it yet, which is the problem. What I am sold on, though, is Zekrom. I think the new Zekrom here is really, really good. It's a new buff for N's Pokemon because you can use Zoroark to copy Rampaging Thunder that does 250 damage. Now, the Zoroark deck has higher damage output. Obviously, Zekrom goes in S tier. It's one of the best cards in the set because it makes Zoroark a lot better. And Zoroark is already like a pretty decent deck right now, but with the release of Zekrom, I think the deck actually becomes even stronger. We can even put it in the discussion of one of the big decks in the format alongside Polt, Charizard, Dengo, and Guardy. So I like this in S tier. Now, I don't know how good Zoroark will be in the rotation format, but right now, Zekrom is really good. It is obviously a standout of the set, one of the best cards, and Zoroark just gets even stronger with the Zekrom. Got some trainers now. We got Light Ball here. The attacks used by the Pikachu EX will do 50 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. Really strong upgrade for Pikachu EX. This is a good card to have in Joltik Box. Now, you could play it in Terra Box, too. It's another deck that plays Pikachu EX, but that deck does want to take value with Sparkling Crystal, but Light Ball is a good card for Pikachu, and Pikachu is a fairly playable card. There's a few ways to play it. I think Light Ball goes in S tier because it's a pretty good card. I mean, this one of card that only works with one Pokemon might not seem like much, but believe me, this card makes Joltik Box even better now. I mean, Joltik Box having the ability to do 350 damage is actually quite terrifying. So I think this belongs in S tier for sure. One of the best trainer cards in the set by far. Not the best trainer card, but one of the best in my opinion. We got Thick Scales next. The Dragon Pokemon this card is attached to takes 50 less damage from attacks from water, fire, grass, and lightning Pokemon. Now, I don't think this card is actually that good right now, but with rotation, if we do start seeing more stuff like Mega Starmie, Venusaur, and like lightning decks pop up, maybe this card is good with Dragapult. I'll place it in B tier. I was a little skeptical on this card at first, but you know what? With the way rotation's looking, just because I've already got to look at rotation right now, I think this card actually could be playable in Dragapult. I'm a little skeptical on it because those types are very specific. I think the most value you get out of it might just be reducing damage from water Pokemon, specifically against Mega Starmie, because Mega Starmie is doing really, really good in Japan right now, and this card is decent for Dragon types to beat Mega Starmie, so we'll have to see on that one. I'll place it in B tier for now. It might be an A tier card, to be honest, but like it might age better than I expect, but I'll still place it in B tier just because I think its effect does have some value against stuff like Mega Starmie. We got the new Kanari supporter card. Discard 1 card from your hand. Search deck for 4 lightning Pokemon. Pretty strong effect, though Miraidon already exists, which kind of hurts it. For now, like, in my opinion, I think Kanari is also B tier. Like, the supporter is very strong, but even in, like, rotation, I don't know how useful that'll be. There's enough Pokemon search in the format still that I think we can get away with not playing this card. Maybe as, like, a one-of in a lightning deck. Like any deck using Dynamo or Electric will probably play like a one-of copy of this card, but I'll still place it in B tier. It's like a perfectly fine supporter card, but it's outclassed by stuff like Miraidon and whatnot. But when Miraidon rotates, the card's value might be a lot stronger. The new Nightmine Stadium card is also very good. Attacks used by Tage Terra Pokemon in play cost 1 colorless more. This card is very good against Dragapult, very good against Charizard, very good against Ceruledge, very good against the Terra Box decks. Now, the problem is, Watchtower is just a better card to use against Noctowl decks, in my opinion. But against stuff like Dragapult, this is actually a lot stronger than Watchtower, obviously. Because Nightmine is annoying for Dragapult to deal with. Even with a Neo Upper Energy on, that Dragapult cannot Phantom Dive you. So, I think Nightmine is probably S tier. Like, I thought about putting it in A tier, but the more I think about it, the more I like having this card in S tier. Because it's a strong stadium. It's just like Watchtower. It's a very good disruptive stadium card. And it's nice to have another disruptive stadium in the format. And I am a little scared of Dragapult. Like, I think Dragapult is a little too good. You know, it outclasses a lot of cards. Having a decent counter to it in the form of this card might be worth trying out. So I like this card in S tier. I don't think it's as good against the Terra Box decks. Like I said, I think Watchtower is just a better card for those matchups, but this card definitely does do a lot of work too, if you really... Like, it does collateral them if you just happen to play in your deck. But I think Watchtower is overall better, but this card is good against Dragapult and stuff. All right, we got the start deck Pokemon here. There's a lot of them. Starting off with Vileplume. Erica's Vileplume EX got that Envious Scent ability. Heal 3 damage from each of your Pokemon. This ability does stack. You can have multiple Vileplumes in play. Then you got Powder Bloom that is 160 damage. It does 160 damage and then poisons and puts your opponent's active Pokemon to sleep, which is pretty strong, you know, in some regards. And I think the ability is the main reason why you play it. If we do start seeing more spread decks pop up in rotation, this card actually looks really good, especially against Starmie. So, I think I would probably place the Vileplume in A tier for being a good, not S tier, A tier, yes. I don't know why I went to S tier, but yeah, I'd place Vileplume in S tier, or A tier. It's a good ability. It's good against the spread decks. Spread decks are looking really good right now in the new format, and if that trend continues, I think Vileplume might be a decent anti-meta deck, so I'll place that in A tier. We do have the Erika's Tangela here with that Gathering of Blossoms. Once you're in turn, you can use the ability search check for an Erika's Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. It's a great way to set up your Erika's Pokemon. Tangela probably A tier alongside Vileplume for having a really good ability and way to find it. Keep in mind, Vileplume being a grass type means you can play it with Force of Vitality to get it into play. I didn't put the Victory Bell on the tier list, but I think I would rank Victory Bell in B tier. If I was put on the tier list, I forgot to put it on here. It'd be a B tier card. It's got the Attack Mysterious Rondo, 40 damage for each Erika's Pokemon you haven't played. It's a fun little one-prizer deck, but I would still think Vileplume is better. I would place Victory Bell in the B tier, probably. Next up is Mega Meganium. I really like this card. This card's got the attack Giant Bouquet, to 70 plus 15 more damage for each Grass Energy on it. Now, keep in mind, you can play Meganium with Meganium from Mega Evolution to double the Grass Energy on your Pokemon. So this card can do a ton of damage, and it gives like those Grass decks a really good Beat Stick attacker that can knock out opposing tanky Pokemon, which I think is really important, and that's why I really like Mega Meganium. I think this card is actually really strong. I almost want to put it in S tier. I think it's probably closer to A tier, because, like, I don't know, like, you're not going to build a deck around Mega Meganium. I think the card is really good. Building a deck around it, I don't think is as useful, but as, like, a one-of in a Meganium deck, like, why would you not just play it? It's such a strong card. Like, it turns your Venusaur deck into, like, a one-shot machine. So, like, I kind of want to place Meganium in S tier. You know what? I like this card so much. I'm gassing Meganium up. I'm going to place Meganium in S tier. You know what? I'm done. I'm thinking this card is S tier. Like, I can't hold back anymore. This card is just that good, man. I'm gassing the card up. I'm a believer in this Meganium. I think it is just that good. Even as a one-of in Mega Venusaur, even as a one-of in a Teal Mask Ogre Pond Meganium Toolbox deck, it's worth playing. The ability to just have this beefy Pokemon take, like, 2 knockouts consecutively because of how much damage it can do is really good. Like, if you're playing against a beefy Mega Evolution, you just can't one-shot, just play the Mega Meganium. see a Mega Lucario in front of you. You see a Dragapult EX in front of you. You just smack in the face with Giant Bouquet and one-shot it. And then they can't one-shot you back, and you take another big knockout. Like, this card is just, it's good. S tier. All right, next up, Mega Charizard Y. Another very strong Mega Evolution. Now, this card is weird because it might only be, like, really playable with Charizard EX for the time being, because with rotation, I don't know how good these Mega Charizard cards will be with the loss of Burning Darkness Charizard, but when this comes out, this is a pretty good one-of to play in Charizard Pidgeot decks. Its attack is insane. Discard 3 energy from it. Time something for 280. What the heck? Yo, that kills other Pidgeots. That is nuts. This card is really, really powerful. This is honestly probably S tier 2 because of how good of an attacker it is. Now, I'm debating this because I'm like, well, with rotation, this card probably won't be as good. You can still play it with Oricorio EX and stuff, but I don't know, man. It's probably S tier because I think it's a really good card in Charizard. As somebody who's been playing a lot of Charizard Pidgeot the past month, this is just a card I'm looking at playing in my deck. So I'll place Mega Charizard Y in S tier. It's another really good one-of to play in Charizard. And even with rotation, maybe it's good. Snivy selling for 280 damage is bonkers. Like, that has to be good, right? Next up, we got Mega Emboar EX, another Fire-type Mega. This one is not as good as Charizard, but I think Mega Emboar is honestly not bad. It's got 380 HP, it's pretty tanky. Its Crimson Blast attack does a nice clean 320 damage. Nice damage output there. Solid numbers. You can use some damage modifiers to hit even harder. You do take 60 damage, but again, you have 380 HP. You have some good ways to power it up. You have Oricorio, and you have Inferno Fandango Emboar. I'd probably place this in A tier. It's a pretty solid attacker, so I like Mega Emboar in A tier. Next up is Mega Feraligatr, one of the strongest cards in the set, quite literally, as this Pokemon literally does over 400 damage with that Mortal Crunch attack. 200 damage. If your opponent's active has any damage on it, do 200 more damage. So in total, you do 410 damage. This card is absurd. This is one of the best cards, or one of the best like attackers technically in the set. But is it really all that good? Now, you can play it with Baxcalibur. You can also use it with the normal Feraligatr from Temporal Forces with Munkidori, which is like probably how you're gonna play. You play with Munkidori or something. So I think Mega Feraligatr is probably A tier. I don't think it's quite S tier. I know it can do over 400 damage. That is pretty awesome. But in the competitive scope lens, I don't think it's as like, it's probably just like Emboar. It's like a pretty solid deck, but I don't think it's like S tier status. It doesn't elevate certain archetypes above. That's why I got Charizard Y and Mega Meganium in S tier, because they elevate those type of decks a bit farther. Same with Mega Frostas. They're elevating those archetypes even better. And these two, they don't really do that, but they're pretty solid Mega Evolutions that do big damage, and big damage is pretty good. Now we got some bulk EXs, starting with Regice EX. Ice Prison, 140 damage, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. Leave your opponent's active Pokemon paralyzed. Sadly, I think Regice EX is mid. I mean, Paralysis is good. You can play with Baxcalibur, but I would probably place this card in B tier, only because it can paralyze lock the opponent infinitely, which is decent. Other than that, I think this card is fairly mediocre. We got this new Voltorb EX here. 100-fold rollout. 100 damage, people going to get tails, 100 more damage for each heads. This card is really bad. It's also very weak, like 170 HP. D tier for sure. One of the weakest EXs in the set. Now, this will make for a good Bad Deck Friday video, but obviously Voltorb is D tier. It is a pretty bad card. Then we got this new Miraidon EX. We have another Miraidon. Yeah, we have like, what, 3, 4 Miraidons now? This card's got the attack Slash Claw for 40, and then you got Hadron Spike, which does 120. If your opponent's active as an EX, do 120 more damage. It's not bad. Like, it's not a bad one-of to play in a Miraidon deck, but it's just worse than Iron Hands and Zekrom. Not sure where to rank this. Like, I guess B tier for, like, being, like, a semi-decent card. It hits hard enough where it's worth trying out, but I don't know. Just because it does okay damage, I'll place it in B tier. Outside that, I think it's pretty mid. This new Azumarill EX is cool. It's got Bubble Bundle. As often as you like during your turn, you can move an energy from one of your Pokemon to this Pokemon. So you can move the Psychic energy around, which is actually pretty awesome. And then you got the Attack Energy Balloon doing 60 plus 40 more damage for each energy on the Azumarill. So, I mean, you can do a little bit of damage here. You can do 180 damage for 3 energy. You have Wonder Patch and stuff. You have the other Azumarill you can pair with the Azumarill EX, but kind of a mediocre card overall. Even with Wonder Patch and Gardevoir EX, I'd still place this card in B tier. I don't think Gardevoir EX is going to play Azumarill. Or maybe Gardevoir will play Azumarill. Probably not. But yeah, the Azumarill is probably just B tier. It's like a decent enough EX. Nothing crazy. And we got this new Stunfisk EX here with Big Bite. Retreat locks the opponent for 30 damage, mid. And then you got Soggy Trap does 100 more damage if this Pokemon has any damage on it. So you do 200 damage. At least you're a fighting type, so you can play it with Premium Power Pro and Mega Lucario and stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'd probably still place it in C tier. Like, obviously, this card isn't, like, really all that good. Like, it's not really gonna move the needle or anything like that. So I'd still probably place Stunfisk in the C tier. Yeah. Then we got Koraidon EX. Now, I do have high hopes for this card. I think this card is underrated because of the attack that does 50 damage. If one of your Pokemon get knocked out last turn, you get to do 120 more damage. This is actually not bad against Terra Box, against Kangaskhan and stuff, because Terra Box struggles against Tank Kangaskhan. This card is a good way to counter Tank Kangaskhan. You can play with E-Switch, Crispin, build it up, knock out Kangaskhan. I think this card is more better than people think it is. So, I would maybe consider placing this in... I'll place it in A tier. I think it's good enough in Terra Box where it belongs in A tier. Like, it could be a really good tech card, right? So, if Terra Box is still playable, which I actually think Terra Box is going to be good, you got a nice fighting type attacker for the deck now. So, I like it in A tier. I don't think I'd place it any higher, but, like, this is a pretty good card. I like it. I think I'll place it in A tier for now. We got Mandibuzz EX here. Bone Shot. 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Vulture Claw. 160 to discard a random card from your opponent's hand. This is just, like, literally worse Mega Absol. C tier. Honestly, even D tier, but, like, at least there's something you can do with it. There's synergy with, like, toxicity. So I would probably still put this card in C tier, not D tier. But it's pretty bad. Got Registeel next. Does 140 damage during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 50 less damage from attacks. You can make a pretty bulky Registeel deck with, like, the help of Iron Defender, Full Metal Lab. I mean, it's, like, fine in that regards. I guess because you can do some cool tank things with it, I'll place it in the same tier as Regice, B tier. It's a pretty mediocre card, but mediocre enough to be in B tier, in my opinion. That's just my take on it. Next up is Togedemaru EX. Another pretty bad EX card. It's got Tingly Needle. 20 damage for 1 energy. Flip a coin of heads. Make your opponent's active paralyzed. Spiky Rollout. 80 damage. This Pokemon used Spiky Rollout last turn. Do 80 more damage. Obviously a bad card. Like, I'd probably unfortunately place this in D tier too for just not being very good. And obviously not having any competitive viability to it. We got another new EX that I actually think is slightly better. We got Larry's the Dunsparce EX with Work Rush. 80 damage, flip a coin for each energy on it. Just 80 damage for each heads. These coin flip attacks are always fun to play, and the Dunsparce does get the job done in that department. I think this card maybe belongs in the B tier still. It's more of a fun rogue deck, obviously, and it actually has some support with Komomola, which I guess we'll rank real quick, actually, because it is next. So we got the Larry's Komomola with Lethargic Charge. Once you're in turn, if this Pokemon's on your bench, attach energy from your hand to your active Larry's Pokemon. Use Komomola to power up the Dunsparce. You can also play the Dunsparce with Meganium and Ignition Energy, which is how you're going to play it. Komomola's ability is good with the Dunsparce. Place them both in B tier. I would maybe put the Dunsparce in A tier for actually being fairly strong, but I think obviously it's more of just a B. It's more of a fun meme deck than anything else. But it's a better meme deck than most meme decks are, just because that coin flip attack is pretty cool. We do have another D tier though. We got Zangoose EX here. The most vanilla EX in the set that sadly has no competitive viability. It's actually the worst EX in the set, so I would definitely just place it in D tier. Sadly, I mean, Zangoose is a cool Pokemon. I don't think we've ever had a good Zangoose card. Not in a while, anyways. Quite sad. Yeah, Zangoose, obviously D tier. What card I do think is good is Mega Audino EX. Now, it's got Kaleido Waltz. Flip 3 coins. Free charge, search your deck for 2 basic energies. Attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. That's crazy. If this card flips all 3 heads, you can get 6 energy on the board. Now, that attack alone is going to carry how good this card is. This could be really good with other Megas like Kangaskhan and Absol. Also good with other Pokemon, maybe even like Hydreigon EX. Honestly, I think Audino's A tier. I think it's a very strong Mega Evolution. That first attack is very powerful, and getting a ton of energy in play is never a bad thing. It is a decent replacement for Turbo Energize, and it works specifically really well with Mega Kangaskhan, because you can play it with Bouffalon to make this Audino a little bit more tankier, because it does have a weakness. Only having 270 HP, it's fairly weak as a 3-prizer, but that first attack is pretty dang good. All right, we got, what, 2 cards left? We got Waitress here. A poor man's Crispin, a poor man's Max Elixir. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. Choose a basic energy you find there. Attach it to one of your Pokemon. Pretty mid, but I'll still place it in B tier. I mean, it's never a bad card to play. Like, getting extra energy in play is never a bad thing. It's just not as good as Crispin. It's Max Elixir, like, on a supporter card. It's, like, fine. I would probably place Waitress in B tier still. Like, it actually could see play. Who knows? Maybe if we get a lack of energy acceleration supporter cards in the near future, this card might be the only good one or worth one playing in your deck, right? So that's why I'd place Waitress in B tier. It's a poor woman's Max Elixir, I should be saying. Not poor man's Max Elixir, but it's a pretty, like, weak card. All right, we got one last card to talk about. It's actually not listed here. It's listed in the perfect order side of things. But we are confirmed we are getting Pokepad in the new set. The very last card to rank. This Pokemon search card is bonkers. Search your deck for a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box and put it in your hand. This card is obviously really, really good. It is by far one of the best cards in the set. It's a really good search card. It upgrades a lot of decks. Like, it's crazy how good Pokepad is. This is obviously S tier. It's, like I said, potentially the best card in the entire set. Pokepad is bananas. It is really good, and it's just so powerful. It's good in Dragapult, finds all your cloaks, your ghosts. It's really good in Slowking. Really good with like anything. Like almost any deck can play it. That's just how good it is. Like it's a universally good card, which is always a good thing. And that's why this is definitely the best card in the set and definitely worthy of the top of the throne at S tier here on the tier list. But there you go. Those are the Ascended Heroes cards ranked. I think this tier list is decent. Like, you could maybe move up Dragonite to S tier. Like, that's one that I'm considering. And you can still maybe toy around with where you want to rank stuff, like the Trevenant and the Dunsparce and the Thick Scales. Those are all cards I could, well, Trevenant and Thick Scales I can maybe see be moved up to A tier in the near future, but this is probably an accurate representation of the tier list. I mean, maybe the more vanilla EXs like Registeel and Regice are technically C tier, but there's actually stuff you can do with them at the moment. Registeel is probably the better of the two, but Regice, I mean, it's fine, right? So this tier list seems okay. I think this ranking is fine. Again, I'm a big believer in Mega Meganium. That's why I got Mega Meganium in S tier. I think grass types needed some sort of big beat stick attacker, and this could be the answer they needed. Just because Meganium is so tanky, right? So I like it. I like it a lot. So there you go. That is my tier list for Ascended Heroes. Let me know what you think of it down below. Let me know if you think anything should be moved around. I'll leave a link to it down below if you want to go try it for yourself, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye-bye.